I welcome you all to this session on behalf of AIEF, All India Educators Forum. I hope my screen got shared. Any one of you please let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the whole program will move around the pedagogies, that too the ones that are used in sciences. And before I start, I would like to know what is the most important in the whole education system. Any one of you can unmute and speak. My sessions are never a monologue.
Ma'am, transfer of ma'am, yes, this
Yes,
Viveka this side.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, transfer of knowledge.
Transfer of knowledge. Okay. Anyone else?
Sorry, ma'am, it can be transfer of skills also. It's not
Transfer
like only
of
knowledge.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Skills and knowledge, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Taken. But it's a very humongous process, if I say. It cannot be summed up in one sentence or one word. We have all been very seasoned teachers. I know many of you are here who have given your entire life to the whole process of education and whole process of teaching and learning. I would say that it's never static, it's always dynamic. And this whole process, why are we sitting together and thrashing out the best practices, is for the benefit of the students. What best and how easy and interesting it could be just to move on or pass on a particular concept from maybe one generation to another generation, we can say. Before I move further, I would like to start this session by the statement given by W.L. Bragg. The important thing in science is... Kindly mute yourself. The important thing in science is not so much to obtain new facts as to discover new ways of thinking about them. Science cannot be only the fact. It's not that something has happened in the history which needs to be repeated again and again. It has to be rediscovered. It has to be reinvented all the time. Whenever something is passed on from our generation to the next generation, from the teacher to the student, it has to have something new to develop, something new to think, some new ways of analyzing it, new perspective to be presented. So science cannot be just factual. It is fact, definitely. There are certain things which are fact, but it is much more, much beyond that also. I hope we all can relate to this picture. What do we see? Any two or three of you, if you can say, how do you relate it to yourself? How do you people relate it?
The teacher is a gardener.
Right. Teacher is a gardener. Someone else would like to give their opinion?
Teacher is a guide.
Teacher is a guide, no doubt. Teacher has a
Teacher is a leader.
Right.
Teacher is a leader.
Yes, ma'am. Teacher is a leader, no doubt.
Ma'am, teacher takes care of all the psychological, emotional, intellectual needs so that the student can grow.
Very true.
Teacher is a facilitator.
Teacher is a facilitator. Very right. See, teacher can provide every single thing, whatever she has, to the learner, to the children, only when she is equipped enough. You can see it's symbolic representation. All these flowers above her head is showing that she has so much to spread, so much to give to others. But to have those many things, we need to thrash out best practices. You can inculcate good things only when you know how to inculcate. And that's what we are going to do today. Recently, the talk of the town, which is always there, that is NEP 2020. There are so many things that are there in NEP, but I would be relating my everything with these 4 perspectives. Hands-on training, that is experiential learning, sports integration, art integration, and storytelling. I feel, as per my view, I feel these 4 things can be interrelated all the time with each of the sciences, whether it is physics, chemistry, or biology. It's a very old saying, many of you know it, that Confucius stated, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So we can understand how important it is to do. When you do it with your own hand yourself, it gives you a more clear picture. I would just take you quickly through this learning pyramid. On the left hand side, you can see in the learning pyramid, only 10% is absorbed or remembered of what you are reading, and 20% of what you hear, and 30% of what you see. So individually 10%, 20% and 30%. Still combination of them is still better. 50% of what you can see and hear, and 70% of what you say and write. But 90% of retention is by doing. So it's very, very important to involve children in doing. And doing is all about experiential learning. Experiential learning will definitely lead to many of the mistakes that students commit. Many times they will be committing mistakes, you will be guiding them again and again, but that's what experience is. Here I have taken example of sound and velocity in physics. Many of us teach in different ways, but I feel like velocity can be better understood if you fly a paper plane and just tell them to see what is the timing and how long it went. And they can easily calculate velocity. Sound, we all have made those phones by connecting thread to the cups. We never forget, as teachers, we feel it very childish, but when you see it, whatever you have done it, you remember till date. So definitely the experiences that they will get, they will remember throughout their life, and they'll never forget the concept as well. Experiential learning is not just doing it once and the work is finished. It is basically a cycle. Cycle means once you do it, again you reflect upon it, what went wrong, what modification needs to be done. You conceptualize it a little. Again, you do the same thing. You experience, you reflect, and it goes on with modification in each and every step. That's what is the learning graph of experiential learning. Integration with subjects. I would take it as when you go through NEP, there is no clear-cut boundary of any of the subjects now. You can take any subject and it can be correlated with all other subjects. There is no fixed and hard boundaries for it. Any unit can be integrated with any of the subjects. That means the boundaries have become soft and merged. Here, there's an example of water which can be used in different aspects: economical, political, historical, structural, theological, many aspects can be attached to it. Next is, this is very close to my heart, inquiry-based teaching. It is student-led. In this whole process, if I take you through history, this was the basic technique by which Finland was following it initially. Later on, it was taken up by US and UK, and now it has come to us. Inquiry-based means you need to start with a concept by giving them some essential question. Now, what are these essential questions? Basically, those questions which are not close-ended. They need to be open-ended. There has to be progression in the concept to answer these questions. Here is some example. How can you create new substance? There's no clear-cut answer to it. Anybody can have any opinion about it, but it is a never-ending concept. How does matter and sorry? Can we mute ourselves, please? Okay. How does matter and energy conserved in this universe? So all these questions which are open-ended can be answered as the whole unit or the whole concept proceeds. Next is guiding questions. I went through an experience there where reproduction was taking place. The reproduction topic was going on in the class. And the students were asked only questions. They have studied cells and they were only asked questions. You have cells in the body, right? All the cells have nucleus, right? There are chromosomes, right? Then why not every cell reproduce? Why are some different cells in the body? What are tissues? And so on and so forth. In this way, the whole concept got unfolded. And the students are left with certain topics undiscovered so that they go on further to improvise the concept. Another thing is, there's a small little topic which was taken in primary classes, habitat. The teacher only gave the term habitat and told the students to come prepared. What do you understand from here? And I was surprised to see that there were different aspects of it. Somebody told it is the place where we live. It is the place where animals live. There were 40 students with 40 different answers, and the whole class was bombarded with knowledge about habitat. That is the beauty of inquiry-based teaching. Inquiry actually gives the thirst. It instigates the feeling of knowing more. Inquiry is basically having four steps: inquire, research, reflect, evaluate, and construct. Once the construction is done, the concepts are hard-based. Then nobody can deter them from there. But the major role of the facilitator, of the teachers, is to give the guiding questions. Many times they move away from the topic also. So the teacher's work is to just put them in proper place every now and then. Next is competency-based teaching, which is also known as CBE. Here most of you know what is critical thinking, improvised compliances, everything you know. I would like to focus on personalized learning. There are two terms, equality and equity. Equality is, I have 40 students and I want all of them to wear shoes. I got shoes for everybody. That is equality. Equity is every child doesn't have the same, doesn't wear the same number shoes. Somebody is wearing 5, somebody is wearing number 6, somebody number 7. So that is equity. That means individualized learning needs to be there. The beauty of CBE is there has to be individualized instructions. Every child is not same. They need to be treated differently. They are born, they are cut differently. It is performance based. It is not just teaching the concept, taking the paper and finished. No, it is performance based. That means evaluation has a level, has a certain milestone to be achieved. Mastery in learning, outcome based, adaptive to changing needs of the students. And the most important, the child knows where the application is. Many a times I come across students saying, ma'am, where are we going to use this concept? The whole act of teaching and learning gets defeated the time the child asks, where is the use of it? First of all, we need to introduce them with the need of that particular topic in the whole session. I would be sharing a small clip. I want all of you to be patiently going through it. Just a minute. Give me just a second. Did my screen got shared?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now let's go through.
இங்க பாருங்க எல்லா டீச்சரும் அனுப்பிச்சது நான் டைரக்டா இது இப்படி அனுப்பிச்சிட்டேன் இப்படியே லைனா. ஆனா இத ஒரு
Yourself,
ஃபைல்
ma'am.
பண்ணி அனுப்பணும் ஆக்சுவலா. புரியுதா?
Okay, so I think we all observed what was shown there. Can anyone tell me what was the child trying to show? We have all seen this movie, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. The child is feeling how he is feeling means he is away from their parents. Regarding that the knowledge, his brother is with their parents. So due to the lack of knowledge, he is moving away from the parents.
Is it a good practice, ma'am? Should
No,
the
it's not
child-
a good practice. It's not a good practice.
Okay.
Parents should help them, assist them for that.
Was the teacher
Not
not
only,
at,
yeah,
was the
in
teacher
school
not at
teachers
fault?
will teachers also has to do in school. At the same time, parents also, we need the parent support also in that.
Okay, agree. But I would like to draw everybody's attention on reflection. See, teachers, education without reflection has no meaning. If you are not thinking as a teacher, if the child is not thinking what he is learning, it doesn't have any meaning. John Dewey has correctly stated, I hope we all know John Dewey was a famous educationist, and he has stated we don't learn from experiences, we learn from reflecting on experiences. Just now I said experiences are important because experiential learning has to be there, but alone experiential learning does not do anything. It has to be in combination with reflection. Reflection is the one that is going to make the child think what modification, what improvisation is needed to get the thing properly done, the concept get properly working. All right, so that the clip that you saw, it was related to reflection. The child was reflecting how the things are moving in his life. We can take reflection from student in different methods. I'll be taking a whole session very soon on reflection, because I feel personally as a teacher that reflections play a very vital role in learning and in shaping up of child. You can take reflection in class by pair share. You can have two students together and you can ask each other. I mean, students may ask each other, how are they learning? What is the problem? Where are they stuck? And things like that. They can have presentation, they can make collage, they can sketch, they can podcast, they can write a journal, they can have an exit slip. It can be a simple song as well. At times, what I do is whenever I take up a very strong topic, very hard topic, harsh topic in my class, the lectures are too packed with concept, I give them some time and I just ask, how do you feel? Just express it in terms of one line song. And I have seen children expressing themselves. These are all mood busters. So reflections are quite important in learning. So it should be included in the teaching learning process. Next is storytelling. Now again, storytelling was focused only in history, political science like subject English, Hindi moreover. But nowadays it has found place in sciences as well. There are many graphic novels which have been launched recently by CBSE. We all can follow them and you get a very good idea how to explain certain topics like photosynthesis. It was explained in the graphic novels. I'll be sharing the link in the WhatsApp group as well. There, I saw that the entire plant was discussed in terms of, what do you say, in terms of cartoon characters, and they were telling different dialogues, which was making the concept crystal clear and interesting for the students of 4th, 5th, and 6th. And before we take up any topics, we should be little aware of the age of the child. Age appropriate education is the need of the hour now. I have seen students of 3rd and 4th doing iodine test. Does that make any sense? They don't know what is iodine, why it is turning blue and black, what is carbohydrate, kind of things. And we are telling them to do the test that they understand in class 7th and 8th. So age appropriate, according to me, age appropriate education is also very important. Storytelling can also be utilized in evolution, life cycle of butterfly. But when we take up storytelling, we need to have 2-3 things in mind. First of all, there has to be good voice modulation. Secondly, you should check out the character twice, thrice, how it impacts a child. Characters are quite important in this. Third, when you are projecting the story cannot be ready-made. You have to weave it around the topic. So one should have that much of wisdom to do it. Another is gamification. Who doesn't like playing? We all like playing, isn't it? And so does students. There are many ways of teaching physics concept, teaching small concept, how the things are moving in air. How do we project certain thing at quite a distance? How to bounce certain things? There are many apps these days available for the virtual classes, like Kahoot. Kahoot is one of the most child friendly. Another is quizzes. You can have time bound quizzes. They can play very nicely. And I feel science can be taken up very easily and very nicely with the gamification method. Yes, somebody, Geeta ma'am, if you can mute yourself. Coming to visual clue or multi-sensory experience. This is a picture. What do you think? Which topic can be taken up by this?
Yeah, aeroplane. We can for this one we can use that topic, friction lesson.
Aerodynamics.
And aerodynamics we can use it.
Okay.
And for 8th is friction also we can, and then atmospheric pressure, regarding that also we can teach by this.
Right. So with the same
And in biology, ma'am, in biology, we can talk about streamlined bodies also.
okay, so streamlined body can be also understood. If I say that I can teach, say, Newton's third law by this, is it apt?
Yes, ma'am.
So see, if the same picture is giving you so many concepts at a time, so you can think how students are feeling. So in spite of going and lecturing, I feel like if you use certain techniques, a little bit of thinking, like visual clues, they make a huge difference. Drawings, diagrams, all these assist your teaching. It makes it interesting and at the same time very easy for the students to relate. Next is graphic organizers. This is something which can be utilized in summing up the whole concept of the chapter. Once you are done with the chapter, you can organize or you can summarize it in the form of graphic organizer. I'll be taking up your question, Rajni ma'am. Just give me few more minutes so that I can complete it, and later on we have the question answer round. Okay. So here I have taken the graphic organizer for chemical reactions. This is the chapter of class 10th, and with the help of graphic organizer, I have summarized the whole unit. For you, there is Xmind, which will give you opportunity to make different types of graphic organizers. Some of them I have mapped it here. That is circle map, tree map, bubble map. The way you want the concept to flow, you can do it, and the whole chapter can be summarized in one go. It will be easier for the students to understand. For the younger kids, there are so many word games. I have made some some collection of the word games over here, and that will help students to use the words frequently. There are scientific terms actually. These terms needs to be used again and again so that they become familiar where to use them. We all know that there are certain terminologies which are used only in sciences. So these words needs to be in practice before they write their any of the assessments. So this will help them in having a better vocabulary, scientific vocabulary. This word part, I feel it is for the, see, in a class we have combination of students. We don't have all high achievers, we don't have all low achievers. These are the wrong terms to be said, but that is the fact. The low achievers, those who struggle with understanding of the words, I think they can be given this trick, this idea of breaking the words, like photosynthesis. Photo means light, synth means making, and sys means process. Same with metamorphosis. If we tell them to prepare such type of a list, maybe they will be understanding it much better. Time to think. What do you think during this era of virtual, everything going virtual? What do you think? Social media is a boon or a curse?
It's
So
a
it's both
boon when
ways.
properly used.
It is both way, somebody said.
Yes, ma'am, it is both ways. I think it can be boon and it can be curse also.
Okay.
Students get distracted also due to social media. There is Instagram, there is Facebook, but like teachers are sharing the material through these media only, so it can be both ways.
Okay, it can be both ways. Anybody else would like to give any opinion about it?
Ma'am, up to me, it's a boon.
It is a boon, ma'am, actually.
It's a boon.
Hello.
Okay. Okay.
It's a boon, ma'am, because we can get so many knowledge from so many diverse field.
Okay, fine.
It's just like a sword in the monkey's hand, actually. The parents recharge the data for a son to or the daughter to research a topic or prepare a project, but they use it for playing online games. So a check has to be made on children at home.
Okay. Fine.
It's a boon for all those who are not having good teachers. They can connect with the good ideas with good teachers.
Okay. Okay. Teachers are also good and bad these days, huh?
Means those who are not having sufficient adequate knowledge, ma'am, I say.
Okay, agree. Chalo, okay. So everybody's point taken. The thing is, we are experiencing from last 1.5 years, those who were performing very well, they might have gone down, and at the same time, those who were not performing at all have become good performers. So it all depends how you're using social media. When it comes to teachers, what to suggest? I think we need to tell students, if you are on Twitter, please follow scientists. Fedly research projects, Pinterest images, share science videos as much as you can. WordPress can help them to have peer-to-peer learning. So I think these all ideas will give a spark for better utilization of social media rather than just commenting on the things that are going all around the world with no use and with no knowledge. I mean, it results into nothing, no gain. We are in the situation where the whole school is closed. At the same time, virtual science laboratories are helping a lot. I've taken a screenshot of O labs where class 10th, all the practicals are there with simulations. So whether the laboratory is functional or not in the school, science is moving at the same pace. So everybody can utilize from 9th to 10th, all those who are here, they can use the O labs, and at the same time on YouTube also, many of the small and big videos are available for explaining the concepts. And I find them, some of them are really too good. It is up to the teacher's wisdom which is to be used. argue with science. Can you guess? How can we make use of this? How do we argue with science? And what will it lead to?
Ma'am, we question things, like it's not something that somebody has proposed something maybe a few years ago, but it might not be the same thing. If students are questioning it, they might come up with the new innovative idea and can improvise that thing also.
Okay. Anyone else would like? Yes.
To explain the concept, explain certain concepts which are having the rules of like you have to accept it and then
Okay. So what I feel is, if you are having a argument related to science, in that case, everybody, whoever is there in the argument, is gaining one thing or the other. Whether you lose the argument or you win the argument, there is always a gain in knowledge, because if you are of some belief, that belief might go wrong, or at the same time it can be correct as well. You can either get consolidation of the concept. There's a lot of noise. If somebody can, all of you, please mute yourself. Okay. So yes, I was saying, whether you have some belief or not,
You can mute no participants.
I can.
Yeah, please mute yourself.
Just
Please mute yourself.
मम्मी कह रही काम रहा है तेरा.
It's done.
Yeah.
So yes, I was explaining that whether you have certain opinion or not, you will be in this argument, whether you win or you lose. Definitely there'll be gain of knowledge. That is for sure. And that is because when you are thrashing out concept, when you are listening to somebody, or you are saying something to somebody, that will instigate a thought, and that thought leads to certain consolidation of concepts. So always in the classroom, there has to be a healthy discussion, an argument, basically, right or wrong. There are two aspects of one single concept. It might go positive, it might go negative. The teacher has the role of moderator over there. She or he needs to bring the conclusion in proper place. Next is lap book. This is for the younger students. Younger children should have a lap book, a thin little book, or a book in which they keep on writing certain topics. That helps the child to come up with the come up with making it easier, all the time easier, with so many topics, so many words which they find it difficult at times. And I think in senior school also it helps. I have seen students who are making lap book when they were in junior wing from class 1 to class 12. They have been writing scientific topics which they find it difficult and they are unable to remember. Projects. Teachers, when we are giving projects to students, it should be well researched by the teacher itself first. Where you want the child to land up, that needs to be studied, that needs to be judged by you first. So before you come up to any conclusion of the project, it needs to be done prior. You need to give a clear-cut instruction how the project needs to move. There has to be collection of data, there has to be arrangement of the whole data in a proper fashion, in a proper sequence. Facts should be properly synchronized. Another thing, when you are moving for the conclusion, what conclusion the teacher wants, that needs to be brought up by the child. And for that, a little bit of hand holding is always needed in projects. Next is video clips. I mentioned earlier also, when the whole world was coming to a shutdown, education industry was the only one which was moving at full swing. And it is because of all the teachers who were becoming very well versed in no time to be well versed with the technology. And video clips are the ones which have come up with a very strong support. When you are shooting your video or you are suggesting somebody's else video, two things needs to be very, very clear. First is your voice, and second, what you want to project. Voice, because the clarity of the voice is the only thing that the child is going to listen. If you are suggesting somebody's else video, please check and recheck the facts, the way of explanation, so that the concept doesn't go wrong. A research book, NCERT, or all the other publications which are present in the market, they might be good enough, but they do not instigate research aptitude. Science without research is useless. If the child doesn't have any idea of research, that doesn't make that child skilled enough for studying science. We say that critical thinking should be there. There has to be a research writing skill, but if you don't give them enough opportunity, that means you're not giving them arms to fight. So research books should always be suggested, whether you suggest one page or so, but they should always go through the things that have been mentioned by people pioneer in these fields. Observation stations in open field. When we teach smaller kids plants, seeds, all this need not be taught in the classroom. They are not topics of classroom. When we are teaching projectile motion, these are not the things to be taught in the class. It has to be done in open field. Plants, every school has certain garden area. Teach them there. Another is peer-to-peer teaching. Students understand best when they are taught by their friends. So we should give them opportunities so that they can have peer-to-peer learning, peer-to-peer teaching. You can also experience it. Certain things, certain techniques that you are not well versed with, you can help your colleague in understanding. At the same time, that is going to help you also when you explain it to your colleague. Movies, these days, yes, people are having enough time to watch movies because they are all at home. Suggest children that gives them some scientific temperament. Here are some of the movies that I feel gives certain glimpse of that scientific temperament. Interstellar, Mangalyaan, things like that. Many of you have seen this, but do suggest it to kids as well. That is for their growth. These days, the difficult topics are in the form of songs also available. Mobile apps, n number of mobile apps are there. But the thing is, which mobile app is going to help you as educator and students as learner? Human Body, Cosmic Zoom, Earth Premiere, all these are certain collections. You can take the screenshot of it. That will help students to learn. I suggest every school should have science club. Every single school. Now there is another initiative of CBSE coming up, that is giving innovation the prime focus. Every school will be having a innovation cell. And patent is something which is needed. If you read the economy of different countries, the economies have risen only in those countries, those who have patent, those who have good research. Next is reward discovery. This works. This works like anything. If we work very hard and we get some appreciation, it definitely gives a good feeling and energy. And the same goes for the kids as well. You should have a way of appreciating them. And how do we appreciate them? By giving them small names: little scientist, junior environmentalist, and many more. Interactive science journals, they are available. One should go through it. Guided discovery problems, exploration, invention. Teachers, in science, invention is the only thing that makes science science. A few days back, there was a seminar going on where two students, two twin brothers, have patented a water purification method, and by which they have become millionaires. They have sold it to Indian government. So if we don't have that kind of facility, that kind of guidance, then we are not in a proper place to, we are not doing justice with the students. Next is fishbone. Fishbone method is mostly understood for cause and effect. Like, if I'll give you a small example, coffee is not good. Somebody says there can be a lot of reasons for it. Like, maybe the quantity of coffee was not proper. Maybe sugar was not apt. There are n number of things. So fishbone can be one way of taking up cause and effect of anything, like pollution you take, like effect of increase in science, sound, increase in cosmic rays, and things like that. VAK, visual auditory kinesthetic teaching. It is for those students who are special children. The same thing is done 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, and later on it is asked from the student what you learned. Again, if he is unable to say the same thing, it needs to be done again and again. So that is one way of doing it for special children. Next is science word wall. In your classroom, please have an area where you write different words that have been taught. While we are going, coming, or whatever we are, wherever we are moving from that area, you just give a look to it and you can at least take 2 or 3 words along with you. This will not show impact immediately, but it will have effect. I'll give you a small example that is given for science word wall. There was a child who was every day traveling through the same route in a bus. There was a garment shop on the way named as Kapoor Garments. The child has no business with the garment. He's just used to cross it every day. And one fine day, somebody came to his house and while conversation, he just stated, I don't know where this Kapoor garment is. And suddenly he said, it is on the right side of the road, which is 500 meters away from our place. He did not go to that place, but he used to see that place every day. And that is the reason we say that there has to be a science word wall. It needs to be made in one side, which is the place which every child crosses. Next is case study. Case study, if you all are in touch with CBSE circulars that are coming, case-based questions are now being part of board examinations. Case-based study or case study instigates the possibility and application of the science. How do you apply science? Science is never factual unless you apply it. You have to apply it in full strength and swing. Then only it is science. So one should put children into certain cases which they need to find out what happened. Suppose a pipeline is blocked. What is the possibility why the pipeline got blocked, and how are you going to come out of it? How are you going to mend it? If somebody is swimming and he died, what is the reason of the death? Many such practical problems needs to be taken care of. Before I end up this session, And before you make any of the plans, there are 5E which needs to be taken care. The topic that you take should be engaging in the class. Children should get opportunity to explore. You should be in a position to explain everything. There has to be extension of the topic, and the topic should be evaluated. Things that are non-evaluable doesn't make any sense. So these 5E needs to be kept in mind before we plan any of our sessions, any of our classes. Now I'm open for question. You can unmute and pose your question. Yes, any doubts so far? Any questions?
Ma'am, first of all, thank you so much. It was such a wonderful session. I mean, I cannot, usually we write 1 or 2 points for a takeaway, but this time we have numerous takeaway. And I would request you to please share the PPT in the WhatsApp group, ma'am, because it was like
I'll be
so many
sharing
things.
the recording. Don't worry. I'll be sharing the recording, and
Thank you so
this
much.
group will always be there. So stay connected, stay tuned, and many more things will be lined up. I'll be keeping you posted with all the new things that are coming. Right?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, I'd like to be a kid again and learn under your guidance, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Preeti ma'am, I have a beautiful question which is coming in mind.
Sure, Abhimanyu.
See, there's a lot of variety, lot of choices nowadays. Now,
yes,
we have explored it in last 1 year, all of us. So it creates confusion also as well. How to go with that? That this is best for such kind of children, this is best for that children. How to go with that confusion?
See, children will be children, sir. You need to be um, much aware and much sensitive what you are going to put them to. I'll give you a small little example. We all are, most of us are parents, and some of you might be going to be parents in future. What you feed your child is very, very important to all of us, isn't it? The children that you are catering are equally special, and feeding is a much smaller perspective than teaching and learning. What they are learning from you, believe me or not, you are the role model, whether the child is now realizing it or not. So whatever you are exposing them to, think twice before doing it. Tell them to be on Twitter, but Twitter में किसको follow करना? Follow scientists. Give them 10 names, those who are there active. If you want to be a physicist, whom to follow? How to go about it? Keep them involved in the goals that they prepare for themselves. All right. NCERT has done a fabulous job. If you see NCERT, each and every line is so very meaningful. But to understand the meaning of NCERT, you have to have good quantity of wisdom. So that's the thing I would say. Expose them to everything, but yes, sensitize them what to take. A good teacher is the one who will show you the sky, but will not tell you what to see. So tell them to see everything, but show them everything, but do not tell what to see. Let them see what they want.
Great, thanks.
Most welcome, sir. Anybody else? Okay, I'll be sharing the feedback form in the chat box, and I'm unsharing this screen.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We will get a certificate.
Yes, ma'am, you will be getting it. I'll be posting the link in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Not here, but yes, in the WhatsApp group. I hope all of you are there in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll be posting it there, and you'll be getting it. Need not worry.
Excuse me.
Any other question if somebody has?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was a wonderful session. I would just like to know if we can find any.
Could not get your voice, ma'am. I've posted the feedback form. By the time we are having question answer session, you can fill it. It hardly has 5 questions. Santosh Vadhwa, ma'am, I could not hear you, ma'am. Lost your voice in between.
Okay, ma'am. I just want to ask if we can find some link or a book where we can find some case study questions for standard 9.
I'll be sharing it on WhatsApp group. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Because now we have.
Yes, ma'am. Case-based questions are there in the syllabus.
Ma'am, I'm not there in the WhatsApp group. So can you post it here? Yeah.
You want the, what do you want, ma'am? The case-based questions?
No, link for the certificate.
Link for the certificate. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Thank you.
I have shared the feedback form, and I hope.
Ma'am, I'm not getting ma'am feedback form. No? In
Feedback
chat box
form,
have you shared?
Chat box I have shared, ma'am.
And ma'am, excellent session. Although I am not a science teacher, but
can you share it again? Because I haven't received that link. Can you please share that again?
I'm doing it again, ma'am. This is the feedback form I've shared again. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, maths and science goes hand in hand. We don't have to say without maths, science doesn't exist types. What I really, in fact, I'm working on this aspect of questioning, and somebody wrote very beautifully difference between Vivad and Samvad. So this is what I have been trying to do with my students. It is very important that you question, but before you question, please understand, be respectful. Because what I used to notice is the moment, in a group discussion, the tempers and the temperature starts raising. So I always used to tell them, remember, you are intelligent, they are also intelligent. So it's a very important, nice, and the whole thing was wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, we are not getting feedback form link. Huh?
Feedback form I've already shared twice. Do you want me to share it again?
Hello,
Yes,
ma'am.
We have not received in the chat
Please,
box.
ma'am.
Are you sending in chat box?
I'm sharing it again.
Yes,
I
ma'am,
did
it's
it
not there.
I've shared
Yes,
it.
it's not there, ma'am.
Shared it for the
No, the
third
chat.
time.
Excuse me, now.
I have one query. Can I go with it?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. First of all, it was a wonderful session. I'm glad that I joined it. So I just have one question that, as you said, that it should be age appropriate learning.
Yes.
But nowadays we can see that it is more of skill enhancement. More the emphasis is on how the skill enhancement. If a child is having a skill set, maybe his mental level is higher, age is lower. So will that go with this? What's your opinion?
Ma'am, how do we judge the mental ability? Is if we are having a class of 30 to 40 students, there are hardly handful of students who are going to, what do you say, those who are going to have that kind of intellect. But to cater them, we are harassing all those 30, 35 students. So this is not a general thing. If there are low achievers handful, at the same time, all right, if the feedback form is not visible to all, I'm watching the chat. If it is not visible there, I'm sharing it on the on the WhatsApp group, and there only Sita ma'am, I'll be sending you in the group as well, global group. You are there, no?
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, whatever the link you have shared for the feedback, it has come to me. It is showing as direct message to me, ma'am. As for Smriti, it's showing.
What is it showing?
It is showing as the direct message to me. I don't know. To see, ma'am. I think it has. It was
It
shared
has come
only
to you?
me.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I think
Just,
so, ma'am.
just a minute. Huh.
Yes.
It has gone to you. Not a problem. You can share it. I mean, you can do it. You can fill it. I'm sharing it again. Is it opening? Miss Jen?
Yes, ma'am. It's open.
Yeah. So that means it is going. Just give me one more minute. Maybe the chat, something is wrong here. Everyone. Okay, fine. So I cannot, there's something wrong with it. I don't know, it's not going. Anyways, thank you so much for joining the session. I'll be putting it up in the WhatsApp group. And I'm trying to share it to everybody, but I don't know how come it's not going. Everyone in the meeting I did. Now let me just share it again. If somebody can see the feedback.
Can I ask something, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes,
sorry.
Abhimanyu
ma'am.
sir,
I
if you
know
can just see the chat box and let me know.
we have received
Has the
form,
feedback form come? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead with the question.
Yeah, actually, I had a doubt regarding the O labs that you mentioned.
Yes, ma'am.
In the O labs, because we are new to this and we just started using it this year. But then one doubt we had is, do we need to actually create student account because the forms that they're showing on the site are all 2016, 17, and there's no response from them when we emailed them. So we don't know whether the student have to create an account to work on OLAB.
No,
Is
it's
that
not
required?
that. No, not required at all. Yes, for some time OLAB was not, the videos available on OLAB wasn't there. But yes, now it is there. The simulations are also there. You just share the link and the students can also, use it. There's now no need to log in, sign in, nothing is required there.
Okay, because we saw the registration, so we did that, but then nothing happened.
No, that wasn't
So then
needed at all. That wasn't needed.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
We are also using this app, and I don't think so any registration is required.
No,
Even you as a teacher, you can also
in fact,
go
I
there
would
and
say you can use
apply.
PHET also. PHET is giving a very good interface. It's very user friendly. But yes, it is very good for higher studies. Higher grade students. They don't have much of the students for 6th, 7th and 8th, but yes, 9th and 10th, 11th, 12th can use it very nicely. They have a lot of stuff there.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, so I think the feedback form is there. Any other question? I'm sharing the link for the certificate as ma'am was asking for it. So those who are willing to get the certificate, they can fill this form, the one that I have shared right now. And the feedback, I hope everybody is able to see. All right, so I think we don't have much of questions left. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the session. Stay tuned. We'll be having many more sessions together. And the next session is lined up for reflection. So I'll be happy to see all of you there. Thank you so much, teachers. Have a great year ahead and a very happy Teachers' Day to all of you. Thank you.
Much. Happy Teachers' Day to you also.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. And you can feel free to ask questions. We are still connected on the WhatsApp group. So be active there. We'll have a lot of chit chat over there. Thank you so much.
Happy Teachers' Day in advance, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Somebody wanted to say something? Okay, thank you.